WorldRemit is a digital cross-border remittance business that provides international money transfer and remittance services in more than 130 countries and over 70 currencies. It was founded in 2010 by Ismail Ahmed, Catherine Wines, and Richard Ego. WorldRemit was founded in 2010 by Ismail Ahmed, a former compliance advisor to the United Nations Development Programme. In October 2018, the firm announced that he would be stepping into the role of executive chairman and the company would be bringing in Brian Corcoran as CEO. During his tenure, WorldRemit acquired Sendwave, and Zeps was created as the group business housing both the WorldRemit and Sendwave brands and businesses. Brian Corcoran left the organization in August of 2022 when Mark Leonard, former CEO of Bill.com, was appointed group CEO of Zeps. WorldRemit focuses on cross-border remittance money transfers from over 50 countries to over 130 countries around the world. For those receiving money, it offers payout options including bank deposit, mobile money, mobile airtime top-up and cash pickup, as well as cash delivery. The firm has a network of more than 5,000 corridors. It is connected to mobile money services globally, including ZD, Somaliland, M-Pesa, Kenya, MTN, Africa and Asia, and bKash, Bangladesh. As of October 2019, it can send funds to 115 different countries. This includes all African countries except for Sudan, South Sudan, Eswatini, Eritrea, Libya, and Algeria. In 2021, WorldRemit acquired Sendwave, another cross-border digital payments company. In 2020, the two processed 50 million transactions and facilitated the sending of over $10 billion. WorldRemit is backed by venture capital companies Excel Partners and Technology Crossover Ventures, TCV. In February 2015, the firm announced a $100 million Series B funding round led by TCV. It was also announced that TCV general partner John Rosenberg would join its board. In 2017, the firm received $40 million in their Series C round of funding, with Leapfrog Investments as the lead investor. In 2019, it raised a $175 million Series D funding round, led by TCV, Excel, and Leapfrog Investments. The cost and speed of a money transfer depends on the receiving country, the receive method, as well as how it is paid for. Currently, there are a maximum of 4 different receive methods available on WorldRemit. How to transfer money internationally? Create an account. This is simple. Just sign up using your email address on our app or website. And keep things secure by choosing a strong password. We'll verify your details for even better security. We'll verify who you are. But this should only take a few minutes. Start your transfer, select the receive country and method, and enter the amount you want to send. Our fees and exchange rates are shown up front. Enter your receiver's details. Have your receiver's details to hand. These may vary depending on how you're sending them the money. Pay for your transfer. Choose how you'd like to pay for your transfer: bank deposit, credit, or debit card. Payment methods for international transfers. We offer you a choice of ways to pay for your money transfers. But the choice will depend on where you're sending your money from. Please remember that credit card payments may incur a fee from your credit card issuer, which may affect the received amount. If you're looking to make an international payment, it's a smart idea to do some research to find out which option suits you best. There are many providers out there, all offering slightly different payment types and fee structures. WorldRemit allow customers to send money to over 140 countries across the world, by bank transfer, for cash collection, or even home delivery. However, not all services are available in all countries, and fees vary according to the payment type you want to use. Before you settle on a particular international payment provider, compare your options, to see if there's a better deal out there. You could consider Wise, for example, for low-cost, safe and simple international bank transfers around the globe, but more on that later. Here's all you need to know about making an international payment with WorldRemit. When you're considering sending money with WorldRemit, the first thing you'll need to do is to model the payment, check the fees payable, and then decide if they're fair. Here's an outline of what you can expect. Upfront fees. The fee you'll pay depends on the amount you're sending, where it's going, and how you want your recipient to receive it. Here are some examples. Sending $500 to the UK, US, or India, direct to a recipient's bank account will cost $3.99. Sending the same amount to the Philippines direct to a bank account costs $6.99. Sending $500 for cash collection in Vietnam will cost $4.99. The same transfer in the Philippines is $6.99. If you choose to have your payment courier delivered to your recipient in cash, it'll typically cost more. Sending $500 to a recipient in Vietnam this way costs $9.99. Exchange rate markup. There is a markup applied to the exchange rate used. We will cover that more later. Here's what WorldRemit's terms say about it. When you pay a transaction amount in one currency and the payout amount is in another currency, there will be a difference between the exchange rate at which we buy foreign currency and the exchange rate provided to you. WorldRemit and its service providers usually make a small profit in these circumstances. Credit card and bank imposed fees. WorldRemit specify that a credit card fee could be payable depending on the specific payment being made, and you may be charged more by your own card provider. 2. We may apply a convenience fee for processing credit cards in certain jurisdictions at our discretion. WorldRemit will have no responsibility for any fees or charges you may incur by the use of a particular payment instrument to fund a transaction. These may include but are not limited to unauthorized overdraft fees imposed by banks if there are insufficient funds in your bank account, or cash advance fees and additional interest which may be imposed by credit card providers if they treat use of the service as a cash transaction rather than a purchase transaction. Cancellation fees. It's not always possible to cancel a transfer. If it is, there could be a fee to pay. WorldRemit's terms say the following. For successful revocations, WorldRemit will normally refund your money, less any reasonable revocation charges and any service fees already charged, within 4 business days. Asterisk. Other charges. You might find that there are other charges added by WorldRemit or their agents. Here's what the small print says. If a payee's account is denominated in a currency other than the currency you instructed us to make payment in, there may be delays, additional charges or different exchange rates. If you submit a transaction request that results in WorldRemit becoming liable for charges including but not limited to chargeback or other fees, you agree to reimburse us for all such fees. Asterisk. What are the currencies that WorldRemit supports? WorldRemit offer payments to over 140 countries, with slightly different services offered by destination. To check if the payment route you want is available in the country you're interested in, you can model the transaction on the WorldRemit website. What is the WorldRemit exchange rate? WorldRemit charge an exchange rate spread on transfers. This means that they take the real, mid-market exchange rate, and add a margin on it, which they then keep for themselves. Here's how the terms and conditions explain it. When you pay a transaction amount in one currency and the payout amount is in another currency, there will be a difference between the exchange rate at which we buy foreign currency and the exchange rate provided to you. WorldRemit and its service providers usually make a small profit in these circumstances. Adding a markup to the exchange rate used for retail customers is a common practice among bank and exchange services. However, this markup is a hidden fee, and can make it hard to know exactly what your exchange is costing you. It's smart to get to know a bit about the mid-market exchange rate, so you can spot if a markup is being added to your transactions. The mid-market rate is important, because it's the only real exchange rate, the one you'll find on Google, and the one banks themselves use when trading currency. Keeping up with the real exchange rate can be hard, because rates move all the time, but using an online currency converter, or simply Googling your currency pairing will give you the right rate for the day. You can then compare the rate you're offered by your bank or international payment service, to the real rate, to see if it's fair. WorldRemit explain why they add a markup to their exchange rate. We guarantee you the payout amount in local currency. The margin taken on foreign currency exchange covers our risk in guaranteeing this. However, it's good to know that there are other providers out there who don't add a markup, and instead charge an upfront, transparent fee for their international payment service. Wise, for example, use the real rate, and are honest about what's being charged, so there's no need to worry about hidden fees. How long can a transfer with WorldRemit take? How long your transfer will take depends on a few factors, including the payment route you've chosen, and where the money is going. Cash pickup services, where your recipient visits a WorldRemit agent near to them, are often available instantly. If you're arranging for your payment to be home delivered to the recipient, the delivery time will vary depending on availability in the country you're sending to. Bank transfers can generally be processed in a day, but they may take longer depending on the route being used to process them. It's worth knowing that international bank transfers are often processed using the SWIFT network. The SWIFT network involves several banks working together to move money between them. It can mean that up to 3 intermediary banks are involved in processing your transfer. Not only can this take a little time, it may also result in unexpected charges, as each intermediary can add their own fee if they wish to. This may result in your recipient getting less than they expect at the end of the transaction. If you're concerned about the high and hidden charges applied by banks and some international transfer services, don't worry. There are other options out there. You could consider a borderless account from Wise, for example, for simple international payments at a low cost. All currency exchange is done using the real mid-market exchange rate with no markup, and you can keep your money in any of over 40 currencies in the same account. How does WorldRemit work? WorldRemit serves over 140 countries, but the options available vary from place to place, so it pays to know a bit about how the service works. What kind of transfers can you make? There are several different types of payment, but not all are available in every country. Here are the most common payment routes. Direct bank deposit, money is paid into your recipient's bank account. Cash for collection, recipient goes to a WorldRemit agent near to their home, to collect their cash. Home delivery, in some countries, the cash can be courier delivered to the recipient. Does the recipient have to sign up with WorldRemit? The recipient doesn't need to sign up to WorldRemit to receive their payment. If the recipient will receive cash, they'll need a reference number from the sender, and appropriate ID. For direct deposits to a bank account, the recipient doesn't need to take any action to receive the payments. Are there any limits to the amount you can transfer? There are limits, which vary depending on the type of payment you're making. Here's an outline. For transfers paid for using a credit, debit, or prepaid card, Apple Pay or Android Pay, limit of $5,000 per transaction to a maximum of $50,000 in 24 hours. Poly payments, up to $50,000 per transaction to a maximum of $50,000 in 24 hours. Is the service available to anyone? To use the WorldRemit service, you must be at least 18, and you'll need to open an account by applying and showing appropriate documentation. How can you contact WorldRemit? If you need to get in touch with WorldRemit, you have several options. You can complete an online contact form on the WorldRemit website contact page. Email the team with the email found on their website. Call customer services or even send a fax to the number provided on their site. Or write to WorldRemit, attention, customer service, WorldRemit Thai Ltd, Suite 23.01, Level 23, 1 O'Connell Street, Sydney, NSW 2000. Whether you're planning on sending a small amount of money to a friend abroad, or need to make a large international payment to cover a major purchase, you don't want to pay more than you need to. Knowledge is power, and a little bit of research can save you a lot of money. Don't forget to check the upfront fees each provider adds, and also the exchange rate used, to make sure you're getting a fair deal on your international payment. Thank you for watching this video.